How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? You must know that there are a lot of black men who don't move like you, who are not successful, who don't want to go to school, who don't want to do anything with their life, who don't have any finances, who don't have any ambition, who have nothing to offer but some dick. Let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofit. There's a large portion of black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
If you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies without a ring, without any type of commitment, and then you go and say that you don't like the white man, he's oppressing you, this, that, and the third, but you go to your white boss, then you go to your daddy government, and you allow daddy government to go tax this man instead of working it out with this man. And if this man was a deadbeat, you should have known that before you shed your clothes like Country Crock and spread your legs.
The gentleman that we're about to review was on stage and was asked questions in regards to the dynamic of the black man and the black woman, and absolutely popped off. In a room filled with black women, we gotta get after this one. Without further ado,
protect, provide, back up my wife. If I had sons, my wife would fall back, because it's my job, like it was my father's job and his father's job before him, to raise his son into a man. We have taught our children, we have taught society, and we put a battery in our women's back by telling them that masculinity is toxic, that submission is wrong. I got to submit to God. I got to submit to the IRS. You submit to your white ass boss every single day, but yet and still you won't submit to your husbands. But then you get on these podcasts, you get on these television shows, you watch these reality shows that are scripted, and you sit up there and you say, I want a man who's a provider. No. Your husband is supposed to be a provider. We out of whack. Iyanla Van Zandt told y'all was out of order, and nobody wanted to hear it.
So maybe I feel like with the submission thing, I feel like, because that's like a hot topic on the podcast world with submission, but we keep telling black women to submit to men that don't have their life together. How can you submit? How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? Everybody's not like you.
I understand that.
You are like in the rare percentage.
I get that.
You must know that there are a lot of black men who don't move like you, who are not successful, who don't want to go to school, who don't want to do anything with their life, who don't have any finances, who don't have any ambition, who have nothing to offer but some dick.
Okay.
So how can you keep telling? And let's talk about it, because let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofit. We're running nonprofits. There's a large portion of black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
this man is about to cook, and I want to let his message rock. So here's my couple of quick thoughts. There is nobody telling y'all to submit to losers, so stop it. You're strawmanning arguments. You're making things up. And let me be clear, by losers, I'm saying those with nothing else to offer of value besides eggplant. What's interesting, though, is that 50% of black men over the age of 18 are walking around childless, with many of those men, good men, high character, high integrity men, are ignored because they don't meet a financial requirement that you've made in your head based off of some reality TV show. Meanwhile, the ones not worthy of submission are getting y'all boxes and creating babies with you. Second point, stop utilizing your pursuit of education as a way to disqualify a man. Humble yourself, for your degrees don't make you more qualified for the obligation of being a wife. Third point, he said submit to your husband, not an eggplant third leg general. But before that, you must understand what submission is and fully indoctrinate it, because even during the dating and the courting phase, we can tell who is really about that life. Your selective submission is not femininity. It is opportunistic. You can complain about the men all day, and I'm not the one here to say that it's perfect on the male side of the coin, but you must be accountable enough and humble yourself to look in the mirror and see, how can my product on the dating marketplace be improved? Let's let them cook.
Black women are the largest group of entrepreneurs. They also have more degrees. There are more black women in the C-suite. And to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
It's a lot of student loan debt.
You don't find that suspicious?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. Problem number two is you spend all that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people. On top of that, I don't need a degree to tell you I'm a man. Most of my degrees are sitting in the drawer, and the rest of them are at my mama's house in Arizona. I ain't seen them. It don't matter. Everything I learned in college was about happening outside of the classroom.
But you went to college,
Hold on.
You went to college, though.
I went to college to please my mother. I had a record deal. I was singing backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. Let's tell the whole story, not just the parts you like.
Why is college the qualifier?
And
but
most
you still
of us,
went to college.
Again, most of us, black men specifically, go to college out of pressure from their mamas and their grandmamas, not because it's something to do to better themselves. The school industrial complex is made for black women. There have been several studies on this that talk about how young black boys are automatically labeled as behavior problems. They were labeled as educable mentally retarded back when Les Brown was in school, and that's going all the way back to the 50s. Then you sit up there and you put them in the programs, then you double down on their reading scores so that you know how many prisons to build. Everything is set up to make sure you rise and think that you are now above us, as opposed to realizing that there's a conspiracy to separate you from me.
So how do we fix it is what I'm trying to get at.
First of all, you sat up there and gave me a 30-minute dissertation on how great black women were doing, but the second I
support my black women, that's all.
I support black women.
I support black men
Here's
too,
the thing.
Look.
The majority of my clients, the majority of my executive staff, my man Ricardo Cordial, who's been a client of mine for 5 years, he will tell you the majority of the people in my executive team are black women. I have put more black women in the 1% than Nick Cannon with a bag of Viagra. So this is not about supporting black women.
He's good.
There's a woman named Anissa Getna who had a nursing business, and she had a credit business, and she went and bought her husband. By the time I was done with her, she went and bought her husband a car dealership, then moved to South Africa. She got an AT&T grant. So when it comes to supporting black women, I don't talk about it, I be about it. So that's not the issue. The issue is we need to fix it by divorcing ourselves from their agenda, which is educate our women, make them feel so high up because they got the C-suite positions, they got the degrees, they got the jobs that they put them in, while they disqualify us, underqualify us, tell us we can't do anything, take all of the skilled labor out, and then when they don't take the skilled labor out, they sit there and then make it look like there's something wrong with that. Even look at the movies. There's been Tyler Perry movies where the dude is a mechanic. The least watched Tyler Perry movie is what? Daddy's Little Girls, because God forbid you see a responsible single father and a baby mama who decided that a drug dealer, a YN, is better than a dude that works hard every day, because that's not sexy enough to brag for your friends. You have to understand that this is a psychological op that is played on so many levels that nobody wants to talk about it. So the solution is we go independent, we reject our trash, we stop taking in every piece of bad bitch bullshit that we get. We start looking at the fact that we don't have one black-owned record company, but we got all these black record labels run by palm-colored people with little hats on the back of their heads telling us how we should operate, and then they sit down with Charlemagne and say, oh, well, I just gotta eat. Leor Cohen, you've eaten, bro. You created a 360 deal.
Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial.
at least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now.
Y'all don't want to do payday loans, but what the hell you think a record deal is?
Talk to me about the 360 deal now.
All right, we know what 360 deals are. I wanted to fact check the brother on a couple of things that he said. One of the things he said is that Black women as a group are the fastest group of growing entrepreneurs. And according to JP Morgan Chase back in 2021, that is correct. But what he didn't say is that although that they are the fastest growing group, Black male entrepreneurs are still more successful when it comes to a revenue perspective, earning, quote, significantly more. This is not a competition. I just think that with one point, you should also have an understanding of the other to have a more complete picture or more of the context. And he also threw in the idea that Black women are more enrolled, therefore there is higher student loan debt. Black women graduate with the highest average student loan debt than any demographic group. At the undergraduate level, their average debt is $37,000 and Black men's is $35,000. I think this difference is negligible, but it increases when you get into graduate school. The gap is even wider for those with graduate degrees. For the class of 2016, Black women had an average of $58,000 in graduate level debt, while Black men had $49,000. A 2024 analysis found that after 12 years, the average woman's student loan debt increased by 13% due to interest, whereas the man's increased by only 11%. Fact check complete. Let's get back into the content.
So,
The 360 deal.
All right, so a 360 deal means that instead of you just signing a record deal and they get their money from the record sales, they get money from your email list, your website, your touring, your merchandise, your name, image, and likeness. They own you and they give you a big old advance. And when you don't possibly clear that advance, they turn around and give you another one. Look at Drake.
I thought you were referencing the 360 deal into the Black community. I'm sorry. I knew what the 360 deal was. I guess what I'm trying to get from you, and I really appreciate your wisdom coming on the show. I really just want to find like the common ground because I understand what you're saying. Where Black women go to school and they get degrees and they feel like they're higher up. But how do we, level it out?
It's not you versus me. It's you and me, right? So here's the thing. When we were allowed to go to school before our women were, we came back and we taught our women. We have to start realizing that we need to raise our entire community, not just our children. So if you're coming with information, instead of standing on the corner with your girls talking about, clock it, I got this many degrees, clock it.
Yo, the finger.
Why don't you start clocking the ability to start elevating all of us? We need think tanks that don't involve white money, non-Black money, and I'm not saying we can't have allies, but we need to start circling our wagons amongst each other. We need to start circling our dollars amongst each other. The Jews do it, the Italians do it, the Chinese do it. When Black people do it, they look at you like you crazy. There is no reason that FUBU should not still be hot today. Y'all rocking Ralph Lauren. There is no reason why Motown should have been sold to anybody but Black hands. There's no reason why BET should have been sold to anybody but Black hands. And y'all crying about the BET Hip Hop Awards. Hello, Boo Boo Cakes. BET ain't been owned by Black people in 27 years.
Hallelujah, amen.
So if you want a solution, the solution is ignore the rhetoric, ignore the propaganda, and realize that I am not your competition. I am your completion. I am the one that's supposed to protect you, but the Bible says it is better for a man to live in the roof of his house than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. Calm all that down. All that sprinkle shit, calm that down. And by the way, when it comes, and this is just me making sure that I'm giving you a solution, if you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies?
This brother cooking. This man just let off an atomic bomb and she's catching some of the aftershock. Here she's hiding from the truth and reality of that quote. Let's get back up in it.
You over here talking?
Without a ring, without any type of commitment, and then you go and say that you don't like the white man, he's oppressing you, this, that, and the third, but you go to your white boss, then you go to your daddy government, and you allow daddy government to go tax this man instead of working it out with this man. And if this man was a deadbeat, you should have known that before you shed your clothes like Country Crock and spread your legs. There's accountability on both sides.
Dave Anderson, I totally agree. There is accountability. Before we home run, we gotta go. I gotta put you in some hot seat questions.
Oh, they gonna hate this man. They gonna come for this. They gotta come for this man. This brother's name is Dave Anderson. I have never heard of him before this right here. They gonna come for you, my guy. It's okay though. All right. We will welcome you over here with welcome arms. And the thing is that on the other side of the coin, they gonna think that, you know, we are men that don't love and support women, which is anything from the case. Shit, you'll see women right down up in here in the comment section that understand exactly what it is that you said, that listen to exactly the things that I say, that listen to the exact same things that a Kevin Samuel say, and they goddamn agree. Because we all want to see more people together. But there has to be a coaching from the mainstream rhetoric that has led so many of these hive-minded lemmings away from the results that they want in life. And it's so crazy because they're so deep in the matrix of feminism and in the bullshit that has been fed to them and the material goods and everything that is not important within life. They've made it their gods. But because they're so entrapped in it, it doesn't feel good when you say these very real things that hold them accountable for the choices and decisions that they have made. This is why I talk so ill of these women with these thought prostitute digital profiles online. They're copying the influencers that they see that have sold their souls to the same people that you called out before in order to propagate their own funds, but continue this boss bee, independent, don't need no men, man is shit type of mindset. Sprinkle, which is creating a low barometer of hate for men while also increasing their standards and expectations of the very same man. But when you trip up their logic and you ask them, would you want your son dating a young woman with a social media profile and presence like yours? One of which I could see your ass cheeks jiggle 3 photos away from pictures of your children? Would you want your son to date a woman with 3 kids by 3 baby fathers while that woman asks for a high value 6-figure earning man, touting your educational superiority through an institution that gave you a certificate of completion while utilizing your womb willy-nilly, right? You spit in the face of purity, femininity, and modesty is not progress. That's a symptom. Education without accountability will never solve the damn problem. Where's my cooking emoji? My brother flame broiled up on that stage. Yo, did you hear all the oohs and the ahs as he was popping off within that? Damn, son. Crazy. All right. But inevitably, there's issues on both sides of the coin, right? Within both genders. There's things that both can improve on. All right. For decades now, men have heard ad nauseum the issues with them. That's old news. It's not a new story. But I think that because now women are beginning to hear kind of this negative content that holds them accountable, it comes across as clutching their pearls and shit like that. Isn't that equality? Can we not call out both sides of the coin and have an in-person, results-oriented discussion about the exact definition of getting good results in one's life, of rectifying some of the issues that we can all take a look at and see that, yes, this is a damn problem? Or are we going to just allow one side of the coin to continue to just dodge accountability like Neo dodging bullets in the Matrix, deflecting, looking into the mirror at your own actions like Wonder Woman deflects bullets off of them bracers? It makes no damn sense to me to celebrate the degrees, the education, and this knowledge superiority and ignore decisions that lead to broken homes. The totality of success isn't just about what you earn, it's about what you build and what you build together. That's the definition of synergy. It's 1 + 1 equating to 3. And there's too many that find it as a badge of honor to build independently while destroying a family in the process. And it makes it even worse that in some cases, it's incentivized by our damn government. And in more cases, it is incentivized by the mainstream media that profits on leading you astray. Credentials don't replace character, baby. That's what we're going to say at the end of this content. Guys, do me a favor. If you enjoyed this content, leave me a comment down up in the comment box down below. the comment section. Let's get over 2,000 comments on this, all right? I'm going to leave a link to this original content down up in here as well, so you guys can go check out. He was talking long before this, all right? And shout out to this brother. He goes by Dave Anderson. Check out this brother as well. I feel like I got to send him an email after that. That brother was up there doing a damn thing. But again, write the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that he went too far, right? Do you think he needs to, just bring it back in a little bit? You guys let me know down in the comment box down below. Let's continue to have this conversation and continue to shed a burning platform on what it is that we see today to solution for what our children will grow up in tomorrow. Until next time. Peace!
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like seal bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound with his MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.